chaos isn't supposed to happen in places like this, right? You walk into school thinking about a quiz or the way your hair looks, or maybe just hoping to get through another day without anyone saying your name wrong or looking straight through you. But then the world tips sideways, gunfire rattling down the hallway, and suddenly everything you thought you knew about who you are and where you belong just dissolves. Let me back up a sec. It was one of those chilly spring mornings in Georgia, stubborn cold, still hanging on even though the sun was shining through the windows of Hamilton High. The school always looked like a fortress to me, tall, proud, locked up tight in the middle of this white picket fence town called Stonebridge, where folks smiled polite and blinked a little too slow at people who didn't quite fit their picture of what belonging meant. I remember the bell ringing, sneakers squeaking, lockers slamming like the heartbeat of a place, trying to pretend nothing bad ever happened here. Most kids flowed through the halls in these noisy little packs, laughing, shoving, tossing words around like candy, all except for one girl. Amira Lewis. 16, skin the color of new earth after rain, braids always neat, steps always measured. You know that feeling when you walk into a room and you're not invisible exactly, just easy to overlook? That's Amira every single day. Not blending in, just ignored, which is somehow worse, you know what I mean? She hugged a stack of library books against her chest, walking slow, eyes on the floor. Not because she was scared, but because she learned a long time ago that when you look like her, silence can be its own kind of armor. Outside the chemistry lab, the world felt like a different planet. Chloe Sanders was there, all blonde confidence and sharp laughter, the kind of girl who could cut you down without ever raising her voice. "There goes our little ghost," she said to her friends, just loud enough for Amira to hear. And Amira? She didn't flinch, didn't say a word, just gripped her books tighter and kept moving. A couple years back, Amira tried out for the debate team, walked in with hope blazing in her chest. But they just kind of smiled, asked if she was sure she belonged there. Not mean, just surprised, like she'd wandered onto the wrong stage. After that, she kept her head down, helped the janitor stack chairs, read Baldwin and Morrison, ate lunch in the library where nobody looked at her or threw her at all. That's how the morning started. Normal. Safe, if you can call it that. By second period, she was in chemistry room 204, East Wing, faded posters, humming lights overhead. Miss Gallagher, her teacher, walked slow between the rows, voice gentle, reminding everyone to balance their equations. Amira was near the back, her pen gliding steady over the worksheet, ears tuned to every sound the way you get when you've always had to be a little more alert than everyone else. Then, just like that, everything shattered. One sharp crack, then another, not a slam locker, not thunder, but something final, deep. For a second, the whole room froze, and then the screaming started. Miss Gallagher shouting, "Get down! Get down!" Desk scraping, chairs toppling, panic rolling through the halls like wildfire. The fire alarm shrieked, glass smashing, chaos everywhere. Amira moved fast, not screaming, not crying, just searching for cover. Years of being overlooked had trained her for this. Find the corners no one thinks to check. She ducked low, but as students stampeded past, she caught a glimpse of Chloe getting swept off her feet, knocked to the ground. Someone's shoe slammed into Chloe's leg, and she went down hard, her cry slicing through the noise. Amira could have kept running. That's what everyone else was doing. But sometimes courage isn't loud, you know? Sometimes it's just a quiet decision to do the harder thing. So while the crowd surged the other way, Amira slipped into a utility closet, heart pounding, mind racing. She tried to slow her breathing, pressed herself against the wall, praying nobody would find her. Then, through the crack in the door, she heard it, a sound softer than a scream, a whimper, almost like a plea. And there was Chloe, sprawled in the hallway, clutching her twisted leg, mascara streaked, all that confidence washed away by pain and fear. For a second, Amira stood frozen. This was the same girl who had mocked her in the cafeteria, who'd called her shadow, in front of everyone. But now, Chloe looked small, human, alone. Amira hesitated, could have stayed hidden, could have disappeared like always, but something pulled her out. She crossed the hallway, knelt beside Chloe. "I can't move," Chloe sobbed, voice thin as glass. Amira didn't answer, just nodded, slid an arm under Chloe's shoulders, another beneath her knees. "Hold on," she whispered, and started dragging Chloe toward the music room. Inside, the place was a mess: upturned chairs, broken drumsticks, dust everywhere. Amira worked quick, improvising a splint from a ruler, a broom handle, and strips of cloth. Chloe whimpered, pain etched deep in her face. "Why are you helping me?" she managed to ask. Amira didn't look at her. "Because someone had to," she replied, voice steady. Then she barricaded the door with the upright piano, her hands moving silent, calm. They waited there, hidden behind music stands in fear. Outside, footsteps echoed slow, searching, heavy. Amira signaled Chloe to stay quiet, and for once, Chloe obeyed, all sharpness gone, just a kid scared out of her mind. The footsteps faded, and silence settled over them, so thick you could almost taste it. Minutes stretched into what felt like hours. Finally, the pounding of boots and the call of police. "Open up!" snapped them back. Amira didn't move right away, not sure if it was safe, not trusting hope just yet. But Chloe's face lit up, relief breaking through. Amira slid the piano aside, opened the door, and let the officers in. Medics rushed to Chloe, checked the splint. "You did this?" one of them asked. Amira just nodded. They took Chloe away on a stretcher. Amira followed, not because anyone asked her to, but because it felt unfinished. The halls were chaos: backpacks, notebooks, a shattered phone screen still flickering. Outside, news cameras swarmed. Reporters shouted questions. Amira stood in the background, invisible again. The headlines didn't mention her name. A week passed. The gym filled with folding chairs and flowers. People gathered to mourn and move on. The mayor talked about resilience. The principal praised law enforcement. Then Chloe, on crutches, took the stage. Everyone expected a speech about her own bravery. Instead, her voice trembled as she said, "I'm standing here not because I was brave, but because someone else was." She looked straight at Amira, sitting near the back. "There's someone I never treated right. She saved me. She saved my life. I never even said thank you." The gym went silent. Then Chloe called Amira to the stage. Amira walked forward, the whole crowd watching her for maybe the first time. Chloe offered her hand. Amira took it, and the applause, hesitant at first, grew until it filled every corner of the room. For once, she was seen. The story spread, local news, then national. "Say her name." Amira Lewis, real hero. She was invited to City Hall. The mayor declared March 18th Amira Lewis Day. When asked to speak, Amira kept it simple. "I didn't save Chloe because I liked her. I did it because no one deserves to be left behind." The room was quiet, but the silence was full this time with respect, with understanding, with something like hope. As she left, cameras flashed, questions flew, but Amira just looked up at the sky and let out a long breath, not fear, not relief, just release. So let me ask you, do you think true courage is about being seen or about doing the right thing when nobody's watching? What would you have done in Amira's shoes? Drop your thoughts below, hit like, and subscribe if you want more stories that make you feel something real. And hey, maybe today, look for someone who feels invisible. You never know what courage looks like until you see it up close.